Hello everyone, it is the Axle Shifter here, and I am back with another Forlorn Classic video. Sorry it kind of took a long while. I just gotta get some other content out of the way, like the next Multiverse Wars or Street Raiders episodes. But now we're back with the next Forlorn Classics episode, where we take a look at a not very talked about game, Ridge Racer 6, and one that I've actually played very recently, and that's why I'm here to talk about it. Now that I've completed all of the routes, now it's time we talk about this great game and how it was mostly overlooked. Yeah, the Ridge Racer community likes it, but not many people outside the community really talk about it. So yeah, that's what I'm here to do in the Forlorn Classic series. Now we're in episode 4 now. Next we have the 5th episode. But yeah, no more reminiscing yet. The series just started. But anyways, let's go. Ridge Racer 6 is a game in, of course, the Ridge Racer series made by Bandai Namco and was released in 2005. So basically, the game opens up with you in this world explorer type world where you basically race around the different maps and tracks, but it's mostly you grinding the same tracks over and over again, which, can get pretty boring after a while, but eventually you do get used to it. This is the same thing with Burnout Paradise. It's mostly you just grind the same races, mostly the same types of races, but yeah, it get pretty repetitive, but not really that big of an issue. And speaking of the tracks, I want to talk about them still. They all look visually stunning. Now, it does look kind of dated and just a little bit dark and gray, but still, they still look pretty good for racetracks. Just feels kind of unfitting for the Ridge Racer series, as basically the rest of the games have shown the buildings to be pretty colorful and the tracks to be pretty lively, but now with this game it feels more realistic when it comes to the roads and the tracks. And it really kind of contrasts with the looks of the cars themselves, because the cars themselves have a lot more color to them, despite being a bit more diminished now. But now I want to talk about the cars of this game and the gameplay itself, because first, the gameplay. Gameplay consists of you using Nitro this time, and as you drift around corners, you can do that to gain more boost in Nitro, and you can use your nitrous 3 separate times, or just use all the fuel and use a massive amount of boost, going extremely fast that way. So yeah, I really like this system. It really shakes up the formula of the Ridge Racer series, because in the previous games you had no nitro and you really had to maneuver your way out of it, but now you have an easy way to keep up with your opponents and to keep up the speed pace of the game. This is really awesome, and I really like that gameplay aspect of this one, and I really enjoyed speeding through the rest of the opponents using nitro, but this will get pretty annoying when going against the bosses of this game. And speaking of which, the bosses of this game are the ones where you unlock the cars after you beat them in races. And these fucking races can be very difficult. I at least had to try at least 9 different times in order to beat these guys. And yeah, they could be extremely difficult and pretty frustrating because, they always seem to be much faster than you are. It doesn't matter how many times you get in front of them, they'll always manage to keep up and just be right back in front of you. This is one of the few parts of this game I don't really like. It's that the bosses should be hard, sure. They have progressed in difficulty and complexity, but still, this just seems way too difficult because they've always seemed to have a top priority over you. It's like they live in a different speed force dimension or something. They're always going to be faster than you, at least, if you try to keep up with them. Now I want to talk about the cars themselves, because the cars are really well designed. I really like them. The designs themselves are so beautiful, and the car engines too are just so amazing themselves. These cars look like something out of Split Second at least, or maybe the next Burnout game or something. I don't know. I don't know if they was exactly fit the most well, but still. I mean, the only one downside is that many of the models are simply reused when you upgrade. I mean, I would have really liked it if they just used different designs for the later classes, but yeah, still, they look really cool. Even with the more updated versions, they actually look even better with the wings and the spoilers and everything, and doing modified engines and stuff. I mean, it's just really cool. And not to mention, the soundtrack for this game is absolutely stunning and beautiful. I mean, it's really just a mix of piano, really the beats and the drums, and the fast-pacedness of it all. It truly fits Ridge Racer extremely well. I mean, just listen to some of this music real quick. You can truly feel how fast this music really is, because it really fits the mood of the game. A car moving really fast and essentially a professional race car driver moving insanely fast, because that's what they would normally feel like, really. There's also some special cars which you can basically beat by beating the bosses, such as the Pac-Man UFO vehicle. Yeah, there's a game where Pac-Man is in a racing game now. He did have his own car racing game, and he does appear in previous Ridge Racer games, but in just different versions. But yeah, I find this one to be the most really likable out of all of them. I mean, it's just so simple. Then we have the monstrous limo, which absolutely deserves its name because it is a fucking monster on the track. I mean, when it goes for a double boost, a triple boost, I mean, it really exceeds itself. I mean, it has a blower and a back rocket boosters on the back of it. I mean, it goes super fucking fast as well for a classic vehicle. This looks like something the president would drive if he entered racing. And really, that's gonna be my coverage on Ridge Racer 6. I really enjoyed this game so far. This is easily my favorite game out of the entire Forlorn Classic series so far. And who knows, maybe some games out there will surpass this game, really. But still, the graphics still look pretty good despite looking kind of dated nowadays. And the gameplay is still really cool. And while the bosses can be pretty annoying, they can still be bypassed if you really try hard enough. So yeah, and I also like the cars, the special vehicles, especially the Pac-Man one and the monstrous one. Those are fucking beasts. Also the Krangle and the Angelus cars too. But yeah, I really love this game. Be sure to check it out, because, you know, it's now available on Xbox One if you have one. Now, PS4, unfortunately, I don't think they're going to release it on there. Probably wouldn't really sell that well. But yeah, see you later, everyone. And goodbye.